12 rounds, ding ding. Sick and tired of the whole damn thing, yeah. Stick a move in the ring. You can hit me with the words you fling now. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, no, no. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, no, no. Be lucky if I stick around. Maybe foolish, but I ain't a clown. No, no, no. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, 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 no. Got the belt like a king. Heavyweight champion of the whole damn thing, yo. Full of gas, full of spin. Jekyll and Hyde, you're the evil twin. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, no, no. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, you're never gonna. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, no, no. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, no, no. Be lucky if I stick around. Maybe foolish, but I ain't a clown. No, no, no. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, 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 no.
Yeah, we're here. It's Nick and Chris, post-fight podcast. I'm in the studio in SCMP in Causeway Bay. And Chris, thank you for joining me from home on this lovely Thursday morning. I appreciate you. We're going to preview One Championship in Power with none other than the voice himself, Michael Schiavello, who will be joining us at some point. I'm not sure exactly when. And Leon Jennings, I think, is going to crawl through the door at some point as well. But Chris, yeah, first of all, how are you doing, mate?
Oh, yeah, I'm absolutely fantastic. Good way to start the day with yourself, the voice himself, Leon of Asian Persuasion MMA. Good way to start it off and get us ready for an absolute bumper weekend this weekend. You know, this is the most excited I've been for one championship fight in a very long time. And that's even considering we had one on TNT, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm just so excited for Empower. We've been teased this for a very, very long time now. I want to say it's about 11 months. I want to say it was back in October you were talking to Chadri. So I'm absolutely buzzing for it. I think this is the world's best atomweight division anyway. We've got, you know, on this card, actually, you can say we've got the 10 best, actually, because we've got the alternate fight as well. We've got some of the greatest fighters. We've got fighters representing all over Asia, also Europe, America. In the alternate bout, we've got a South American. We've got the debut of Anissa Mexon. And I also think what a lot of people are absolutely overlooking about this card is that main event, because everyone you talk to, they're talking about the debut of Anissa Mexon, they're talking about all those matchups in the Grand Prix. You know, Rito's got a big following. People are talking about what Meng is going to do with her. You've got Itsuki Hirata, who's super popular, super trendy, that everyone seems to be following. Obviously, we've got Stamp, who's just absolutely awesome. We've got the debut of arguably the GOAT of atomweight worldwide, Ham, going against the number one contender, Denise, as the co-main event. And we've got that absolutely amazing main event. So, you know, it's an amazing time to be an MMA fan, as I keep saying. It's also an amazing time to be a One Championship fan.
I'm not sure I'm ready for everything that's going to happen. It's going to be a long day tomorrow, isn't it? I think we're going to have 7:30 start for the card. So we can do a fight companion, and I reckon we'll start that 7:15. I've got this new soundboard here as well, Chris. We were playing around with that before we went live, so some fun here to be had. Yeah.
Hey.
So, yeah, I've got some treats in store, some sound treats. But yeah, nice new equipment here. Thank you to the people at SCMP, Keith, Mr. Keith, the video engineer, for sorting that out. Yeah, we are still waiting for Michael. I'm not sure exactly when he's turning up. So he made a mistake. He thought it was 10 a.m. Australian time, which I don't even know what Australian time is. How far back or forward are they? Let's have a little look.
I want to say they're about 2 hours ahead. If it's Sydney, I know that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so that makes no sense. But anyway, yeah, the voice will be here at some point as well. And Leon, I think, is going to creep in about 15 minutes time. So, but yeah, until that, I don't know what. Let's talk about. If you have any questions, please get them in the chat, guys. Any comments? Oh, here he is himself, Mr. Michael Schiavello. I'll put him in. The voice. How you doing, Michael?
Hello, Chris. Hello, Nico. How are you, mate? Sorry I jumped on a little late. It's been a busy morning. We're preparing for Empower tomorrow, and things are crazy.
Yeah, there's no problem there. No problem there. I figured you might be a little bit busy, so I just appreciate you taking any time at all to speak to us. It was very much appreciated.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Well, yeah, it's like Chris was saying before, it's just an incredible event, isn't it? We're so excited. Something feels bigger about this, doesn't it? It feels like, we're really back in the big time now. We've got the prelims again, the lead card, the main card, and yeah, this is just a whole huge event. I can't wait to see it. We've been waiting so long, haven't we?
Like you said, this one just feels special. Maybe because it's the first time a global organization has done an all-female card. Maybe because it's a one-off. We've been shooting most events over the last 18 months, 3 in a day, and delaying broadcasting 2 of them and showing 1 of them live. But it's just the one tomorrow. It's just the live one tomorrow. So it feels like we're getting back to a sense of normality almost in a world that's been sadly lacking a lot of normality over the last 18 months. But also such a star-studded card, so many superstars on the card, and so many variables about this Grand Prix tournament. I mean, it's a flip of the coin as to who can win it and who can emerge to be in the Final 4.
Right, I had to ask you as well, because I saw Joe Rogan was talking about you as well, and how you've had to sacrifice a lot to quarantine for, how long was it each time? The 21 days in the hotel? But
It's 2 weeks every time in the hotel. So at the moment, since last October, I've done, latest count was 16 weeks. I'm off again soon, which will be at 17 weeks. So by the end of the year, I'm probably going to get up to 20 weeks. So what's that going to be? 5 months of my life spent in a lockdown in a hotel room.
what a company man there. What a nice.
Chatri, give this man a bonus.
But is it any easier now with no pre-taped fights and pre-taped cards, or is it the same system?
It's going to be a little easier. I'm gonna do a 3-month stint over in Singapore because we've got shows, as you'll see on our schedule on the website 1fc.com. Back to back every 2 weeks. We've got shows for September, October, November into December. So I'll stay over there, which will save me a lot of quarantining time coming back and forth. And it's just good to get back to normality. Again, all those shows will be just single shows. We won't be recording 3 or 4 shows in one day and then delaying them for the audiences worldwide. And, that's the way people want to view sports. Unfortunately, over the last 18 months, for many of us, we couldn't view live all the time. But that's what people want. And especially in the day and age of the internet and social media and spoilers, you want to be able to view things live rather than have them delayed.
Absolutely. All right, I'm going to throw it to Chris. Chris, you're going to have to ask Michael, which fight is he looking forward to most while I find the card here in my graphics department on my machine?
Well, I just sound a little bit like a parrot. Michael, which fights are you looking forward to the most?
Man, again, hard to choose because it's star-laden. I'm finally looking forward to seeing Anissa Mexen make her debut for one in Super Series. She's, she is the best female kickboxer on the planet. I'll go further than that. I'll say arguably pound for pound, male or female, best on the planet right now. Fantastic record. What is it, like 105? 33 knockouts, something like that. Former Glory champion, multiple time world champion. Now she's coming to look to dominate one Super Series. To finally see a striker of this caliber joining the greatest lineup of strikers that one Super Series has got me excited. I've never commentated nor seen Anissa Mexen live in front of me before, so I'm looking forward to that. In the Grand Prix, again, difficult. I think for me, the Stamp rematch with Aliona Rasohinha. This is interesting. I was speaking to Mitch Chilson yesterday, and Mitch spoke to Aliona and a couple of days ago, and he said to me, Aliona is completely convinced she dominated Stamp Fairtex last time. I'm like, what? Is she dreaming? Is she on another planet? Stamp Fairtex utterly and completely dominated, bossed, handled Rasohinha for 3 rounds, except for the final 10 seconds when Rasohinha locked on the submission that Stamp tapped out to. Before that, Stamp was dominant. Stamp was absolutely slaughtering her. It was the best performance of Stamp's young MMA career. So I don't know what planet Aliona Rasohinha is in, but that rematch is going to be fireworks.
I've got to bring in This man has just joined the chat, so I think you know him well, Michael. Leon Jennings from Asian Persuasion MMA.
Oh, Leon, it's good to see you, mate. Always a pleasure. I miss you.
We all miss Leon. Leon, how are you doing, man? What have you been up to?
Good, just rushing around. Someone told we were starting at 10:30 today.
That was my fault. Yeah, apologies. It's all been changing because Michael got. I think you thought we were in Australia. I think Tammy told me Australian time. So
it's very confusing sometimes.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. But yeah, Leon, we just asked Mike what he's looking forward to most in the card. What are you looking forward to most?
Wow, that's a tough question. Just the Grand Prix getting started. We've been waiting 9 months for this. Just finally here. Fun matchups. The main event as well was intriguing one. Striker versus grappler with a belt on the line. Yeah, I can't wait for the whole card. And then even the 3 fights before the Atomweight Grand Prix gets going, all fun ones as well. So I don't even know where to start.
All right, I have found the graphic, so I'm going to share it on screen. Here we go now. All right, Michael, I know you got to be places today. Are very busy, so I thought we'd ask you for your rundown on these fights, as many as we can fit in before you have to go. We won't ask you for official predictions unless you want to, because I know it puts you in a tough spot. But I'll get Chris and Leon.
I've never been one to shy away from predictions and who I believe is going to win it. And that said, it doesn't mean they're going to win, and there could be upsets on the card, and there always are. But look, let's go through it. Hirata and Elise Anderson. Elise Anderson's a newcomer to the big stage one championship. Hirata is just a fan favorite. I think out of all the women in this Grand Prix, Hirata would be the most popular among fans. She's got a viral following. She's huge on Instagram. She's fun. She's beautiful. And she's an absolute demon inside the circle, especially if it goes to ground and she sings on that scarf choke that she's known for. I can't go past Itzy Hirata in this one, but I think Elise is going to give her a really tough contest. Elise is going to have the height on her, but once it goes to ground with Itzy Hirata, it's all Hirata's world.
Chris, what do you think of this matchup, Hirata and Anderson? I'm going to put you on the spot as well. Who are you picking?
Yeah, I think it's so tough to call. I think what makes this such a fantastic matchup is we've got two super young athletes. I think one is 5-1, the other is 4-0. They've both got fairly strong followings. Elise Anderson has done some nice work in Invicta, top women's organization in the West. I think the best all-women's organization in the world. We do have to hand it to them. You know, it is good to have a former Invicta fighter on this card because it kind of is somehow passing the baton between an all-women's promotion and an all-women's show. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I think this can go either way, but yeah, I've got a fancy Hirata in this one. And the one thing I do have to say is, though, these two have absolutely everything in their destiny in their hands, because being 4-0 and being 5-1, if they win this, they're in the Grand Prix semi-final. They're 2 fights away from winning the Grand Prix, changing their careers forever, boosting their following, truly proving themselves at the top level, and really putting themselves forward for that title shot.
If we go on to Ritu Phogat and Meng, and I do want to say shout out to Shannon Knapp at Invicta, because like you said, deserves credit. 100%. You know, she's the lady that had the foresight to put together all women's cards, and no Shannon Knapp, so many female mixed martial artists wouldn't be where they are today. So shout out to Invicta and Shannon Knapp. I used to love commentating Invicta as well. Getting back to it, Meng versus Ritu Phogat. This is interesting. The power of Meng, and she's ferociously powerful, versus the ground and pound, the wrestling of Ritu Phogat. A lot of people are going to be on the side of Meng, thinking she'll overpower Ritu Phogat. But Meng had problems last time out, or was it the time before, the young girl from Brazil, that she couldn't really finish a hurry, and most of us thought she would finish in a hurry. Ritu Phogat gets back in the tournament after being eliminated from it originally by Killer BB Nguyen in a very controversial decision there. Guys, I'm going to go on a limb here, and this has been the source of much banter at One Championship headquarters. I think Ritu Phogat may be my firming favorite to win the whole thing.
Oh, well, Leon, I'm going to go to you. Do you agree with that, Leon? Who are you picking in this one?
It's an interesting one because, like Michael said, things have changed. Ritu was in it, and then she wasn't. She's lost it. She's no longer unbeaten, but then Meng didn't look as convincing in her last fight. So there's a little bit of doubts about both of them now, which I didn't have 6 months ago. So I'm edging it a little bit towards Meng, partly just because of Ritu's performance against B. Nguyen, where she gassed in that third round, didn't look as convincing as she had in her previous fights, and that was a step up, although she got back to winning ways against Lin Hee Quinn.
Mongbo's an absolute terror. I agree with you, Leon. She's an absolute beast. But the thing with Ritu is that Ritu knows what she did wrong last time out. They got her, not last time before, they got her the loss against B. Nguyen. And you will find no more determined, focused athlete on this whole card than Ritu Phogat. The pressure that comes from being a Phogat, that famous Dangal family in India that are megastars over in India, the pressure that's on Ritu to perform, to win this Grand Prix, to become the world champion. And I think she's going to live up to that pressure. This is, again, just a very intriguing matchup.
Chris, who do you think's going to win this one, and what do you think Ritu's ceiling is in this tournament?
I think Ritu can absolutely go all the way. My issue is that because of her athleticism and her pure ability, and that she's been training MMA on top of obviously her great wrestling base, I think actually if you look back at the Jamarai Torres fight, the Nusupov fight, I thought she fell a little bit in love with her hands a little bit too much when you look back on that. She was beating them with her hands, and I think that's kind of what went wrong with the B fight. And I actually think if she remembers who she is and remembers where she came from, I think she has all the tools to deal with almost anyone in this Grand Prix. And I think Ritu, if she remembers what she's here for and what got her here, and obviously she's getting more and more well-rounded, but sometimes you do have to revert to that base because that's what differentiates you from everyone else. So I think if she can impose her will on Mengbo, I think I'm going to go with Ritu on this one.
Michael, I just wanted to ask you your opinion because we debated it back and forth for a while. Do you think Ritu or B. Nguyen won that fight? What's your take on that?
Ritu.
Okay, and
I thought
do you think?
I thought it was close. I thought Ritu won that, but I actually thought B won her last one.
Oh yeah.
So a couple of, and it's super close. I mean, they're both razor close, razor sharp. But I thought Ritu beat B, and I thought B beat her last opponent.
What do you make of Ritu kind of being taken out and put back in, and Mengbo having to prepare for 3 different opponents or what?
Look, it is what it is at the moment. There's so many obstacles and logistics to work around, and the competition team has so many headaches at one championship, and they're such troopers putting together with all the logistical nightmares of dealing with COVID. And I could sit here for an hour and tell you some of the stuff we go through to try and make these fights happen. So the fact of bringing Ritu back into the tournament, I think it's great. It's great to have her in it. I think she can go all the way, and it's great to have her representing India, who have come on so strong in one championship over the last 18 months. They have a world champion now in Arjun Bulla. There's 1 billion people. We're on Star Sports over in India, which is huge over there. Massive following for Ritu, being from the famous Phogat family of the movie Dangal. If you haven't seen it, check it out on Netflix. So it all augurs well to have her in the tournament.
All right. And okay, this fight I'm looking forward to most in the Grand Prix. I think a lot of people are. Denise Zamboanga, the #1 ranked atomweight, against Ham Shohei, UFC veteran, former Rising champion. Look, Ham seemingly dismissed the challenge, I thought, of Denise at the media day on Tuesday. Michael, do you think it's dangerous of Ham to just not take Denise seriously, or is it all a bit of a mind game?
I think it's probably a bit of a mind game, to be honest. But then again, you don't know. Denise is the #1 ranked atomweight. I mean, above her, the only person is the champion, Angela Lee. And Denise has been waiting for this opportunity for a long, long time and should not be underestimated. But has Denise fought someone of the caliber of Seo Hee Ham? Seo Hee Ham says she hasn't. Seo Hee Ham thinks that, Denise is going to be easy pickings. But a lot of people have underestimated Denise Zamboanga in the past and found, she's not as easy pickings. You don't know much about Denise. You don't get much of a look at her training, at her mindset, at her strategy. We don't get to peek behind the curtain, so to speak, a lot with Denise Zamboanga. She remains very much a mystery. But if there's one thing about Denise, she can be just a beast inside the circle. Former training partner of Stamp Fairtex. When it comes to striking, she can be an absolute, demon. And on the ground, she's very strong as well. Denise brings a lot, and Seo Hee Ham better not underestimate her. And I think she is. It may be mind games, but I genuinely think she is.
All right, I'm going to pose that question to you, Chris, as well. I mean, who are you taking first of all? Do you think Denise has a chance? No one's given her a chance.
Oh, I definitely give Denise a huge chance, actually. And you know, the one I'm actually picking is Denise. Denise would be my pick for this fight because I think we a lot of the time put down our own fighters a lot over here when we talk about one championship. You know, everyone expected Eddie to just breeze his way to a title. They expected it with DJ. People don't realize how hard one championship is, and when they come in, they find a lot of resistance. Okay, DJ got all the way through the Grand Prix, but you can go any way, and you know, Ham is at a slightly older age. She's got a big record. She's got a few losses on her record. So the blueprint is out there, how to beat her. And I think Denise is 24 at the moment. I want to say she's something like that. She's still got so much going. She's still not even at her prime. I think this has everything on it for a little bit of an upset. And it's fantastic that we've got these two meeting in the Grand Prix because when I ask casual fight fans on the street, who would you most like to see Angela Lee fight? They say, I want to see her fight Denise, and then I want Ham to beat someone so she can fight Ham. And I think having this is the co-main event, kind of the main event of the Grand Prix. I think it's absolutely fantastic. And
Chris, you make some really good points there because there's a genuine grudge that developed between Denise and Angela Lee. We saw it on social media last year when Angela was, announced her pregnancy, and I think Denise said, well, you should step down and put the championship up for grabs, and Angela responded to her straight away and said, well, no, you got to take the title from me. That's not how the game works. And of course, Angela kept the title as well. She should. When you're in the workplace, any woman in any workplace, when she falls pregnant, doesn't get her, her rights and whatever she's earned taken away from her just because she's fallen pregnant. So there was that bad blood that had already is emerged between Denise and Angela. And when you talk sheer hunger to win this thing and prove herself as the number one contender for that strap, there's no one more hungry for that sheer hunger to get that shot at Angela than Denise Zamboanga.
Yep, I agree 100%. And a few people asked Denise at the media day, what do you think about Angela predicting Ham to win? And I thought the response was perfect. She said, Angela who? Yeah, she needs to relax. The champ needs to chill out and just watch on September 3rd. Leon, a few people are also bringing size into the equation here. They're saying Denise Zamboanga, maybe she's got the size advantage. What do you think? Ham looking pretty big as well, right? She's also put on some muscle.
Yeah, she's not looking small. I don't think that would be too much of a factor. I think Michael makes a good point. I think Denise is going to be so hungry. I think the fact that she's the number one contender, yet everyone's kind of riding her off, including Angela Lee, including May Yamaguchi. That's just giving her more fire, more motivation. She's gonna put everything on the line this Friday night. So I don't think size is going to be too much of a factor. I think as well, like everyone, I think the winner, I think, will probably come out of this one. I think a lot of people think that. And this is, for me, the most intriguing one of the four intriguing matchups. Okay.
And Michael gave us his thoughts on Stamp and Alyona as well. I can't remember, Mike, did you give us an official prediction who you think is going to win that? I know you thought Stamp dominated the first one.
I think Stamp again. Look, Alyona's going to know what she did wrong last time. And she's going to be working on that, particularly on a striking defense. And that's obviously Stamp's big point of difference. But Stamp's ground game is just, Stamp Fairtex is a sponge. The way she has absorbed the mixed martial arts game over the last 12 to 18 months has been phenomenal. It's been one of the most phenomenal rises of any athlete in mixed martial arts, from having no experience to doing so well and such a complete performance against Alyona last time. And I think Stamp's going to take her again. I think she's going to go in there all guns blazing and try and finish her because Stamp needs a finish.
All right, I missed that fight, and I still haven't actually watched it back. I was in the hospital, bizarrely enough, but I saw on the Twitter the finish, and Stamp claims she didn't tap Chris. Do you think she did? And does that matter now? Does Alyona have some kind of psychological advantage here?
I don't think it's so much a psychological advantage in terms of faces. Stamp. I think it's more of a psychological advantage for herself. I think it's something for her to bring on. She's seen a weakness in her game. She's got something to aim for. But I have to totally back Michael up with this one. I actually think Stamp's going to go in there. I think she's going to be hungrier. I think she's going to go at it even faster. And you know what? If I had to predict something's happening in this fight, I predict a knockout.
Leon,
pound 100%.
Floor is yours then, Leon. Who do you think?
Well, like Michael said, I thought Stamp's last performance was her best performance so far. You'd never imagine that she's new to this ground game, to BJJ, the way she performed in that last fight, which is incredible. I think I honestly believe when she says she didn't mean to tap. I believe she acknowledges that it looked like a tap. I don't think she meant to tap, and I think she's going to get the win this Friday night and kind of right the wrong in her own head from that fight.
Okay, and main event. Yeah, this one's being slightly almost overlooked, isn't it? Michael Zhang Jingnan defending her strawweight title against Michelle Nicolini. 2 years out for Michelle after being Angela Lee. I asked Michelle if she was a bit annoyed she's had to sit out so long and didn't get an immediate title shot, but that doesn't matter now, does it? How do you see this one going?
Oh, this is hard after what Michelle did against Angela. And okay, granted it was 2 years ago, but the way she handled Angela on the floor, and you've got to wonder if she gets it. It's going to be a clash of styles, and we all know that it's going to be the stand-up of the former member of the Chinese national boxing team in Zhang Jingnan, the champion, the punching panda, against the ground of maybe the greatest female BJJ competitor of all time, Nicolini. It's as simple as that. It's this classic MMA style versus style, and it's whoever lands first. I mean, can Nicolini get the takedown and work the ground like she did against Angela and maybe tap out Zhang Jingnan? It'll take a Herculean effort. You're going to have to break something or put it to sleep to tap out or submit Zhang Jingnan. If Zhang Jingnan hits Michelle Nicolini clean in the stomach, in the liver, on the jaw, it could be lights out for Michelle Nicolini. Man, a big part of me wants to lean the way of Nicolini because she's so dominant on the ground. That's the question I'm asking myself, guys. Is Nicolini more dominant on the ground than Zhang Jingnan is dominant on the feet? And that's what I can't decide. But I don't think Zhang Jinnan's going to let go of her title. So I'll tip Zhang Jingnan, but this one for me is hard to tip, hard to predict.
Yeah. Chris, a little bit of extra pressure now maybe on Zhang Jingnan's shoulders. As the only Chinese MMA champion, obviously Zhang Weili lost her UFC strawweight title. Does that matter at all? She spoke about it a little bit on the media day, but she's going to want to keep hold of that belt even more now, I imagine.
To some degree, yes. To some degree, no. I know she is a proud Chinese woman. I know she will always represent her country with 100%. But going to the mainland a lot, living here in Hong Kong, China, I know the amount people respect her, people look up to her, particularly a lot of the Chinese women. Absolutely fantastic. Got a love her for it. I think she's got absolutely too much to give. I think she's a better striker. I think she's got fantastic defensive wrestling. I think there's absolutely no chance that she this goes the distance. I think she's going to finish it. I'm totally 100% confident in the Panda.
Leon, you and I were in Kuala Lumpur when Michelle Nicolini last fought and beat Angela Lee. That was a 3-round fight. This is 5. And Angela Lee kind of came on a bit stronger in the 3rd round, I think. Do you think that might be Zhang Jingnan's best hope, to hope Michelle Nicolini tires? There's the age difference. Michelle's slightly older than Zhang, I think. So will that come into play?
Maybe. I mean, like I say, remember being in KO, I thought that fight of Angela Lee was extremely close. I think that could have gone either way. She certainly didn't dominate Angela Lee, who was obviously a black belt herself in BJJ. I think, kind of like Michael's sort of said, the key is, can Michelle Nicolini get the fight to the ground? That's, for me, the key to the fight. Because she will be dominant on the ground. Zhang Jingnan will be dominant on the feet. Yes, it's an interesting one.
To me,
official pick. Who are you doing?
He's trying to get out of it.
Yeah,
such a tough one. Very, very, very slight age for Zhang.
Oh, Leon, come on! You see that fence behind you? You should be sitting on it right now.
It's an interesting matchup. It really is. I mean, look, they both fought Angela Lee. They both had very competitive fights with Angela Lee. So you've got that a little bit to look back on. Obviously, there's different styles, but yeah, it's a fascinating matchup, and I think a perfect main event for this stacked card.
I have a quick question for Leon, because you're on the fence so much. Is there any fight on this card you will predict a finish for, or are they all going to be very close decisions?
And it's a Mexican. Come on, really? Mexican.
I think for me the biggest. I think Stamp. I'm very confident Stamp wins. Meng, I'm fairly confident she wins. Jackie Bunton, I'm confident she wins. The others, I'm pretty much on the fence for a lot of the other fights.
Jeez, you're
Yeah,
going to
Leon-
get splinters in your backside, Leon. Splinters in your backside.
You took the words from my mouth. He's permanently on the fence. If you don't watch Leon, it's hard to get a prediction from him. But
No, but
all right.
some often I'm 50-50. There's no point in me saying one or the other if I don't strongly believe that.
What?
But that's
Okay,
good.
what
It's good
about
matchmaking as well. Good because I want to be sat on the fence every fight. It's not as fun to a certain extent if you think, right, I really think that person's going to win, and because then you think, well, maybe is it a good matchup?
Well,
I think Leon wants to be a matchmaker, but I have one very quick question for Michael. I just want to ask you, how important do you think the opening bout of the whole night is on the league card, the alternate bout between Yamaguchi and Mezababa? Because you just look at this for Mezababa, this is such a great opportunity to make a debut in one championship and be an alternate in the Grand Prix.
Hello, Alvin. First of all, nice to see you watching on Alvin. Good on you.
Alvin's a legend.
If you look back through the history of so many tournaments, kickboxing, mixed martial arts, the alternate bout always tends to play an important role. Now, especially when you've got a tournament that is going to go over months, not all in one night. Okay, and over that time span, over months, injuries can happen in training. Pandemics happen, and the pitfalls that come with pandemic issues. So anything can happen at any time that could eliminate someone who wins into the semifinals or could take them out. That means that May or Julie could then get that ultimate spot. So consider this, even though it's the first fight of the night in the lead card, think of it as part of the main card. You've got to do that. Think of these two women as being part of the tournament already, because that alternate bout, I'm telling you right now, is just as important as any other quarterfinal bouts. It always is.
Can we get an official prediction then, Michael?
May.
Okay.
I think
Chris...
May will maybe feel a little hard done by. She's not in the 8 for this. In the Grand Prix 8, seeing she's such a superstar, seeing she came so close in those great matches against Angela Lee to winning the world title. She's been a stalwart in one championship. She's a darling of one championship, and especially the Japanese scene as well, where she's a veteran. And I think May is going to feel she has a point to prove.
Yeah, Chris, I think I would agree with that. Do you think there's going to be a chip on her shoulder, and that could really make the difference here?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a chip on her shoulder. I think she's going to want to go out and get it. I think she's going to want to prove a point. She's starting off the whole card. All eyes are going to be on her. And you know what? Sometimes it can be an advantage, as Michael was saying, being the alternate. You can kind of plan your moves a little bit more because she knows, right? She's got 4 losers there to choose from if she loses. And she can call out any of them and hope to fight any of them in 3 months in an alternate semi-final. And then she can always just keep winning as they keep winning. And she knows she wins 3 fights while the Grand Prix is going on. She knows she's going to be the #1 contender when the winner of the Grand Prix finally beats Angela. And outside the Grand Prix and outside of Angela, she is the best atomweight. So I just think she has absolutely everything to prove in the world. I've seen a little bit of Julie Mezababa on tape, though, and she has got a fantastic ground game.
Yeah, guys, I want to say before we go as well, is that there will be an announcement tomorrow night that is going to be something very revolutionary and something quite extraordinary. I can't give away any more, but make sure you watch the entire broadcast tomorrow night, because something is going to be announced about this whole card and stuff. And I won't go into it anymore, but it's pretty freaking cool. Look out for an announcement from Chatri Sichitong tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'm speaking to Chatri later, so maybe I'll try and tease that out of him.
You'll get it tomorrow night. It's. I'll tell you what, guys. I'm excited for this announcement. It's pretty cool.
Well, that's great news. Can't wait to see it. But yeah, Michael, if you need to head off, I know you're very busy. Just drop out whenever you need to.
I am, guys. I'm going to head off. I just want to give a quick plug for my book as well, The Commentators. Yes. It's out now. Grab it from all good booksellers worldwide. And join us on the broadcast.
Put it back on screen.
TV, guys. All right, here we go. There it is. The Commentators.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
And, of course, make sure you check your local TV, guys. The one YouTube channel, the one super app for tomorrow's Empower card. Myself and Mitch Chilson going to bring you all the action. It's going to be extraordinary. I cannot wait. And thank you to everyone. Keep tuning into One Championship. because we've got shows coming at you every month, every 2 weeks for the rest of the year.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Michael.
One question regarding
Yes.
that every show for the rest of the year. On the website, it says there's a show planned for December 31st. Is that a plan at the moment?
I believe it is. I am not privy to that information that far ahead, but I believe there is talk about a December 31st New Year show. Nothing confirmed, however, as of yet. But, I know you guys have seen like the Revolution card that was announced, which is going to be a big one, our next one.
11 fights.
Yeah, there's a card coming up in October. I saw the matchups for it yesterday for the first time. If I had hair, it would have fallen out again. That's all I'm saying. it would have fallen out again. I'm going to go, guys. Love you all. Thank you so much. And see you tomorrow night on the broadcast.
Cool. Thanks, Michael. Appreciate it. Cheers. All right. Wow. What do you think that can be then? The revolutionary announcement. I hope it's not just something to do with the Revolution card, but
he said to do with the Grand Prix. My first initial thought was $1 million prize money, but then I'm thinking, do you need to when there's the title shot against Angelique? That's already a huge incentive. Do you need to add a money incentive to it as well? Not that anyone would complain.
Could have some balls in a hat. They could do a draw. What I think they might announce is the Grand Prix final might be on an America card.
Well, are they going to try and rush the 10-year anniversary of December to have the final of this Grand Prix on there, which will be pretty quick turnaround for the athletes? But interestingly, who was it? Was it Alice Anderson said that there was talk of this card, Empower, being in America, but it fell through.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she mentioned that.
If that is the case, then that means they're even closer to a US card than we could imagine.
Yeah, Colorado, as Gordon points out, I think that was the targeted area because the rule set has been approved there. So, they're announcing the match between Leon and Chris finally. if only you guys knew how heated these two get in WhatsApp. Yeah, they'd be ready to go at each other.
It's all friendly banter.
Yeah. So, did we finish that card? Do we want to give predictions quickly? Who do you guys think is going to win then out of May and Julie? I think, Chris, you were giving your prediction. Sorry.
Yeah, I think I have to fancy May. I have to think May is going to do it. I think she's got everything you need. She's so well-rounded. She is a real veteran. She's the definition of a veteran. She's such a professional. Julie's been doing most of these smaller shows down in Brazil. So also you've got to question how professional can she be, but I wish her all the best.
And Leon, is Julie the barber? We don't know too much about her, right? Is that a good or a bad thing for her?
Probably bad, but you never know. People surprise you. But for that reason, I would give May the upper hand. Again, May, not only was she not picked for this Grand Prix, she's coming off a probably the most one-sided loss of her career, certainly that I remember, against Denise Zamboanga 18 months ago, whether it was 19 months ago in Singapore. That's even more motivation for her because I can't remember seeing her lose like that. So she's certainly going to be up for it. And she knows as well, like Michael's mentioned, like we've talked about, Grand Prix, look at 2019, the flyweight and the lightweight fighters falling out. So, yeah, there's a lot of stake in that fight. So I would give the edge to May, mainly just because I don't know too much about Julie.
Yeah, she was brought in, wasn't she, briefly to fight Meng Bo. So, and then she was out. We'll see how she does. I've never seen her. I'm coming in completely blind to Julie Mizababa, but I'm
funny
sure
one because there's some athletes come in that you're not too familiar with, and then it shows. And then there are others that come through, and then they just put on a big performance and spectacularly win their one championship debut. So, I haven't seen any tape of her either, so I literally don't know what to expect. So, I'm just going to see how that one goes.
I reckon WMMAC now in the comments will enlighten us, about Julie, and what she's capable of. But yes, I agree. Zazakita, I wish they would announce the fights for Lineker and Adriano soon. Lineker for the belt and Adriano either rematch with DJ or Yuo Wakamatsu. You got to imagine, guys, they are gonna stack that 10th anniversary card with some of those title fights, right? It makes sense. They may be saving them for that. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, if you do have a look at it, though, both this and Power and Revolution, I guess probably after Empower, they may well name the card after Revolution. I can't remember its name. But if you also look at Revolution, it's pretty stacked itself. I think it's got 3 title fights and it's 11 fight cards. So maybe they're going back to 2 weeks and they're just going to try and keep stacking fights. And you never know, they could always be announcing some sort of heavyweight Grand Prix.
Well,
that'd be good.
That would be very good. We can
really want to
Obi-Wan.
see, because the divisions that are good are so good. I really want to see them. We've built up the heavyweight division, built up the light heavyweight division, the welterweight division, the middleweight division, the women's strawweight division. Imagine if every division was as fun and stacked as the best divisions in 1R. It'd be incredible, and it'd make stacking 2 full cards every 2 weeks so much easier.
Yeah. Would you also say as well they could be announced a Grand Prix, because on Revolution, I believe we've got 2 heavyweight fights, right? We got Ali Akbari and Buchecha both fighting, right?
Yeah.
See, there we go. We're halfway there.
He did say that the announcement was to do with the Atomweight Grand Prix that card. So,
yeah, like you said, maybe it's the final. It's going to be in the US, and they're having the first US card. That's a good bet, but I'll try my best to see what Chatri says. He might give us a clue. You never know. Alvin is asking, will you gentlemen be doing a fight companion for this exciting one in Power Card? Absolutely. You can bet your bottom dollar, Alvin. I'll be there. Chris, you'll be there?
100%.
Okay. Leon, you be there?
Nah, I'm washing my hair that night.
Well, I will be there. I might be dipping in and out a little bit because I'm going to have to stream the media interviews after the fights, and I might have to write a few articles. Oh, what a load of shit. But I'm sure the other guys will keep you entertained. And yeah, we're going to kick that one off a little early because, like we said, there's a few prelims on this card now. So it starts at 7:30 Singapore time. So we'll be live, I think, about 7:15. So please come and join us on the SCMP MMA channel. Yeah, Sepulot, I'm sorry, I don't know if they're coming to Canada, but yeah, there's a few Canadians out there who could be on one card, isn't there? We got Arjan.
Definitely.
Bibiano lives in Canada, doesn't he?
There,
Yeah.
Dustin Johnson, who's not made his debut yet, he could be in this heavyweight Grand Prix if they do it. So plenty of scope there. And what about the rest of the card? Did we finish? Jackie Buntan and Daniela Lopez quickly. What do we think, guys? Leon, how's this one going to go? Jackie, she's looked pretty impressive. In her first 2 fights. I think it's just 2 she's had, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
particularly good against Wonder Girl. She looked not quite as good in her next fight against Ekaterina. Can't remember her last name, top of my head. And she said she was disappointed in that performance. But again, I don't know a lot about Daniela Lopez, apart from she's based in Thailand. I think she's 7'3". But again, I'd give the edge to Jackie there. Jackie is looking like a certain future champion. And potentially a win here could finally maybe see an inaugural 1 strawweight Muay Thai title.
Yeah, Chris, they've got to actually pull the trigger and make this belt, haven't they? At some point.
100%. It's been it's taking a little bit too long, right? Because just seems a little bit odd that we do have we have some divisions where we have a kickboxing and Muay Thai and an MMA belt, and then we have some divisions where we just have one. So it would be very nice to add a kickboxing and a Muay Thai strawweight belt, which I think would be fantastic. And yeah, I think Jackie Bunton's going to run away with this. Don't know much about Daniela Lopez, but I see probably a dominating victory, maybe a finish if we're lucky. But I see Jackie to dominate because she's absolutely fantastic. She's fantastic on the mic, and she just has the ability to be a little bit of a star, I think.
Absolutely. And I know Michael gave us his thoughts on Nisa Mexon and Christina Morales. Do we see, Leon, any chance for Morales here, or is this just going to be Anissa stamping her authority all over one championship?
Yeah, you'd think so, just because of who she is, her record. But Christina Morales, she's not. She's a pretty good fighter herself. Former champion, world champion in other promotions. Yeah, I mean, obviously Anissa's going to be favourite. I back her to win, but and another thing, Anissa's had a long layoff, the longest layoff she's had for years. That could be a factor. It's an interesting one. They're both as well very, very. I was just reading about it, the academically clever as well. Both got degrees. I think so. It's an interesting point of view of their characters.
All right. I did not know about that, but I know, Chris, what do you think then? Anissa Mexen, I'm expecting a win here. I'm sure you are too. And for those who don't know, what is she all about?
Anissa Mexen?
Yes, sir.
Oh, she's just probably the best female kickboxer on the planet, arguably. Definitely over the last 5 to 7 years, she's been absolutely fantastic. Just been putting work in non-stop wherever she's been. She's been a champion. Just one of the best to do it. But I will say, I did check out some videos of Christina Morales. She's pretty good, you know. She's got a pretty good record. She's got some absolutely fantastic victories, some really notable victories. And I think we're going to see a really, really good performance by Anissa Mexen. But I think also why they've chosen such a good caliber of opponent is they want to get out that classic performance, a great performance. And I think we're going to see a little bit of trouble. We're going to see her try and work her out. And obviously, I guess for Anissa, this is going to be quite a bit of a change to her as well. Because I guess with all of her success, she's probably used to being the main or the co-main event or very, very high up on a card. And, you know, to just be opening the main card might be a little bit of a change for her, but be fantastic. I think it'll be a nice welcome to one, but I expect her to just edge this one on decision.
Of course, Chris, I forgot to give you props earlier. As Migs points out, thank you, Chris, for making this event happen.
Someone had to make it happen, man. And MMA gods, they shone down upon me and they said, Chris, we want an all-women's card.
Yeah, tell the story if people don't know. You know, you asked me, didn't you, to ask Chatri?
I said, can you just ask Chatri one question? Can he do an all-women's card? I'm not sure if it was about...
Was it your idea or your girlfriend's idea?
My idea. I think it makes perfect sense, man. I always said, my original question was like, why not do it on International Women's Day and raise some money for charity? But that fell a little bit to the late side.
Yeah, a lot of delays in this tournament, but thank you, Chris. It's a historic moment. Can't wait. What about
Nick yesterday? Was it yesterday or the day before, saying she wants 4 belts in one championship? She wants the Muay Thai kickboxing in the atomweight and also in the strawweight.
Anissa
Mexen, yeah.
Wow, 4-belt champion. Fair play.
4 belts. I mean,
she can do it.
105 fights, only 5 losses is incredible.
Yeah.
But what's her MMA pedigree then? Like, you saying she wants to go into MMA as well?
No. Go up the weight division and get the Muay Thai kickboxing. Imagine Anissa Mexen versus maybe down the road Jackie Bunton, if Jackie's the strawweight Muay Thai champion.
Yeah.
Who would naturally be the bigger fighter?
Yeah, well, the champ. What would you call it? Double champ. I don't know.
Yeah, double champ.
Yeah. Well, never been done. That would be something, right? Gordon says, thanks, Chris. I remember that moment. Amazing that it led to this.
You think?
Incredible, Mr. Chris. Thank you for making this. What a way to celebrate the hard work these women put into training camps. Yeah. Well done, Chris.
I just had one quick question for Leon. If Anissa gets through this, who would you rather see her fight first? Rodriguez or Todd? Because I know Rodriguez, is she had a baby yet, or is she still?
I think from the pic from Instagram, she looks like she's about to drop, but I don't think so yet.
So I guess Janet Todd would be the first one, I guess.
Yeah, I was expecting that to be Janet Todd's next fight. I thought they'd make Janet Todd versus Anissa Mexen, even though they've got a tendency to make fighters earn their title shots.
Yeah, I think make her earn it, because if Anissa can get any early victory anyway, you can probably have her on a card now, maybe get her on another card, and then towards the end of the year have a fight for the title.
But I think Anissa Mexen versus Janet Todd would just be incredible. Fight.
Yeah, looking forward to see Anissa and how she does. Well, yes, any questions, any comments, please put them in the chat now. I think we'll keep it short and sweet today, but we could hang around for a few minutes. Like I said earlier, I do have an interview with Chatri scheduled for in about a couple of hours, so I will definitely ask him about this revolutionary idea about the Grand Prix that Michael Schiavello has just teased us with earlier in the podcast. If you missed it, go back and check. We had one championship commentator, Michael Schiavello, here giving us his picks for the card. But yeah, otherwise, we will be back tomorrow night about 7:15 p.m. Hong Kong time, Singapore time, with our fight companion. Don't miss it, guys. It promises to be a belting night. It feels like, Leon, it feels kind of like the first huge event since, I think, Inside the Matrix for me. Would you agree with that?
I think so. I mean, for me, I've got banged on about it a lot. The 6-fight card was so fun. But at the same time, and I could have watched them forever. They were just so fun. But at the same time, I'm really excited to see a night where I think it's still a 9-fight card. I think I've gone
9 fights, yeah.
Because we lost
8,
Olsen versus who was it? Oh, Grace. But yeah, I'm excited to see a more fights. I'm excited to see Revolution, which has 11 fights. So yeah, it feels like a turning point, and for bigger, more stacked cards. And tomorrow night does feel very special.
Chris, I'll give you the mic. The hype is real, says Miggs in the chat. Do you agree? It seems there's something different, doesn't there?
Oh, 100%, man. It feels like a return to normalcy. It feels like we're getting back to where we need to be. To me, it feels much bigger than Inside the Matrix. This is like a pre-COVID fight card. It's stacked. I think it's fantastic. I just hope they can keep the quality up if they're planning to go every 2 weeks, because, 3 title fights next week. Be interested to see how the cards keep going. But as long as they can keep putting this together, keep them going, man, we're going to be in for a good couple of months with one championship.
I think the roster's getting more depth and more stacked generally as they bring in more fighters, and more fighters make a name for themselves. I think they're going to. I think the key is, if the fighters that haven't fought for the last year and a half, if they're able to get in Singapore or US, wherever it is, and compete, they should be able to keep putting stack cards on, because they're so far behind schedule. I mean, think about just the lightweight division, for example. 2 years ago, we were talking about how many fun matchups we're looking forward to. We've hardly seen any of them. There's so many. We've talked about before the lightweight fighters that haven't fought for a while. Ev Ting, Ariel Sexton, Daggy. There's so many fighters that haven't fought for a while, which is going to make putting stack card on twice a month easier, providing if the reason they haven't fought was the pandemic, and if they can get out of their countries now, get fight camps and compete now, we should be all right, I think, for having some stack cards and not worry too much about that.
Yeah, you got to remember, I think after the Tokyo Century Show, Leon, we were both at the rest of the cards that year. Kind of, I wouldn't say were not enjoyable, but they weren't as stacked, right? Obviously, because we had all the title fights, we had the Grand Prix finals.
Stacked, on paper, like particularly the KL card, which finished the year was. I think KO doesn't tend to get the strongest cards. Although, actually, I think the last 1 or 2 were stronger. But I don't think that'll be an issue now, because of how many fun fights we've got to see. Some of the champions who haven't fought or have barely fought, they probably want to be busier.
All right. Well, I imagine, like you said, we seem to have a lot of people who haven't fought for a while, so they should have enough to get through the rest of the year. And like I said, they're going to have to really stack that 10th anniversary card, which my boy Tom Taylor revealed on Bleacher Report. I think is set for December. He interviewed Chatri a few weeks ago. Alvin asking, will this show be on TNT or Bleacher Report? I think it's only on Bleacher in the US, so you might get a replay at some strange time, midnight or 2 a.m. on TNT, but it's not going to be live there. So if you're in the US, Bleacher Report, or just join us on the Fight Companion and watch us watch it. And that's much better.
We could, I think, speak for everyone here. We could do a card on New Year's Eve. Let's finish the year with a 10th anniversary card, which is hopefully going to be epic. Why follow that for a card and just allow MMA journalists and media to have a night off.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
that doesn't work for people like Drake Riggs who have to cover Ryzen, right? So,
Yeah.
Each into their own. I think also
Fuck
it
Drake
depends.
Riggs. That's what I say.
Last year they had a card, albeit pre-recorded, on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And now New Year's Eve. I mean,
my one issue would just be, I think as well with a New Year's Eve card, it all depends when you do it. Because you could do it pretty early in the day and kind of go for the American market the night before. Because you could do a daytime card. It all depends, right? Because,
that'd be fun.
Yeah, and because I've been to, it depends. I've been to rugby matches and football matches back in the UK and on New Year's Eve, and it's not a problem because you're only there for about 2 hours and it's on in the middle of the day, and then you can go home and celebrate New Year's Eve either way. So all depends. If they had it like as a card that started off at 12 o'clock Singapore time and was finishing in the middle of the day, that could work for me. Yeah, but I don't want to call
early, like you said, US time. That'd be.
Yeah, nice way to start your morning.
Yeah, I like a daytime card. Yeah, I'd say otherwise you're still going to be working at 1, 2 a.m. On New Year's Day, which
hopefully not.
And as well, the one argument we can have about New Year's is a little bit more universal. Like I can understand Christmas because Christmas is more of a Christian thing, while New Year's Eve is actually a global thing and celebrated in every country, right?
I don't know. You got Lunar New Year as well, which.
Oh man, we can't go into them all. If we can never have an event on someone's holiday, we're never going to have any events, are we?
Yeah, I still stand by having one on Christmas last year was insane, and Leon was like, "Oh, we're doing a fight companion." I'm like, "No, it's Christmas Day, you guys."
And wasn't the thing with the Christmas card? Wasn't it pre-recorded?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they chose to put it out on Christmas Day rather than be like, they could have just as easily put it out on Christmas Eve or Boxing Day when everyone's got a hangover or something like that.
I would have loved that.
Would make more sense.
It was a Friday night, I think, so it was exactly 1 week after it's recorded.
Yeah,
so I think that was part of the reason. And for me, I wanted to, because I was just stuck in my apartment on my own with I was quite looking forward to doing a fight companion, having a few drinks.
I would have done it, Leon, but Chris was around my apartment, and we had some other people there. We're having a merry time. I couldn't join you, and I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, last year was quite a good. If you're ever going to have a card on Christmas Day, last year was a good day for me because it gave me something to do.
Yeah. Where's JHK at? Making BS rankings for Bellator, I suppose. He does nothing else. Yeah, that's all he does. Exploding about them as well. Will Mr. Riggs be joining you gentlemen for the fight companion, asks Alvin. I believe so. Drake said to me he's going to try and stay up for it and join us. That's Drake's thing, isn't it? He's the WMMA guy as well, so I'm sure he'll be watching.
I think Drake also needs to be there for a little bit of his background knowledge on Ham, because he called me a little bit uneducated on Ham's career UFC earlier. I just think too many people are sleeping on Denise. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, there was some sparks there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's leave it there, guys, so I can get coffee and maybe eat something. I'm starving. So thank you, Chris, and thank you, Leon. It's been a pleasure. Yes, I'll say it again. We're back tomorrow night, 7:15 p.m. Hong Kong time, Singapore time, 15 minutes before the show starts, basically. And do remember, this show starts earlier, 1 hour earlier than we have been watching all the recent shows, because there are prelims. Thank God some prelims are back, or lead card. What do they call it? Lead, yeah. Lead. All right.
Yeah.
So don't forget, guys, tune in earlier, 1 hour earlier than usual, 1 hour and 15 minutes earlier than usual to come and join us on the Fight Companion. This is it. We are back. It's time. Thank you again, Chris. Thanks, Leon. See you all tomorrow, hopefully, and have a good day.